y'all, I'm Catherine from plantbasedhealth.com, and today we're making one of my family favorites that I grew up on in Louisiana. It's called Glorious Greens, and after just a few bites they'll have you saying hallelujah. The secret to making good southern greens is more in the technique than in the ingredients, so feel free to use any kind of green with this. You don't just have to use collards. Good greens have a sweet and salty flair. We're going to draw sweetness from our carrots and onions, and if it needs a little bit of salt, we might add a little bit of soy sauce. And for your greens to be truly glorious, you need to use a pot instead of a skillet, because the tall walls of a pot will keep all the moisture inside. To make glorious greens, we'll use 1 bunch of greens. We're mixing kale and collards here today. 1 onion, 4 tablespoons of vegetable broth, 4 garlic cloves, 3 teaspoons of sesame oil, some optional soy sauce, 2 carrots, and probably half of the jalapeno pepper. The equipment we'll use is a knife and cutting board to chop the vegetables, a wooden spoon, and a 3 or 5 quart pot. First, cut your carrots into matchsticks, and then cut the onions into half moons. Now mince half of your jalapeno pepper. I like things pretty spicy, so I'm going to leave about half of the seeds in it. Now that you've cut your pepper, don't touch your eyes. Preheat your pot over medium heat and then add the onions, carrots, jalapenos, and about 1 teaspoon of the toasted sesame oil. Saute for several minutes, keep an eye on it, kick it around with the spoon, and if you need more moisture, then add a little bit of vegetable broth at a time. Our goal is to completely caramelize the onions. If your onions start to stick, just slow down the process a little bit. Turn the heat down to low or medium low and add a little bit of water at a time. Give it time and the onions will caramelize. While the onions and carrots are caramelizing, slice the garlic. Next, prepare the collards and kale by tearing them into bite-sized pieces. If you look down the collard, it has a stem that's pretty thick until about the midway point of the collard. So tear the collard down to that point, like this, and then remove the stem. You can save this for broths or chop it up small for a sweet and sour stir fry or something. And then just tear your collards into small bite-sized pieces. Look at how nice and caramelized our onions are. Now it's time to add the garlic, stirring constantly, and cook for about a minute. My favorite way is to spread the carrots and onions to the outside of the pan and cook the garlic in the middle and add just a little drizzle of the sesame oil. Add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable broth to the pot and then add all of the greens on top. Cover and cook over medium heat until the greens are wilted to your liking. This usually takes 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to try your greens pot liquor style, where they're really soupy and you need cornbread to soak up all the extra moisture, then add about half a cup to 1 cup of vegetable broth while it's cooking and let them simmer about 5 to 10 minutes longer until they're really, really soupy. While the greens are cooking, let me teach you some lingo. If you're ever down south and you want to compliment the chef, you would never say, "Oh, these are delicious." You would say, "Woo, these are slap your mama good." Or you could look right at the chef and say, "Shut your mouth. That's the highest compliment ever." My favorite way to have glorious greens is on top of a big bowl of warm, cheesy grits. Check out our grits recipe here. I have grits and greens for breakfast. Yes, I'm totally serious. Give it a try and you'll truly have a glorious day.